We've done this a million times.
I know. Right?
Boom! Welcome back, everybody. Another Tuesday night chat with the Muskrat, Mr. Creole Catfishing. Man, it feels like it's been forever since I've been on here.
I know, right? It's like it's amazing how like you miss like maybe 1 week or something like that, and it seems like a month goes by. I tell you.
Well, I got to be honest with you. My daughter came up from Georgia, and I ate up every minute I could get with her. And so that's what's happened last week. Last Tuesday was my birthday, and I appreciate the birthday shout outs to you guys. I was able to catch a little bit of the show in between running around. I tried to check in and appreciate everybody. But and then the week before, I was heading to Rogersville, Alabama. So we were leaving like midnight or 11 o'clock at night. So I was getting last minute things together and trying to make sure I overpack everything when I'm going on a fishing trip. But but it's been a very exciting couple weeks. Went to Rogersville, spent some time down there. Fishing was tough. Still had a great time. Big fish of the trip ended up being right at 50 pounds, 51 pounds, something like that.
Nice.
But the bait was the big kicker down there. Even the commercial bait guys couldn't get bait. So
wow,
made things very interesting, very tough. I don't fish with shad much down there, but I did fish with some shad this year.
Well, hey, you caught a fish, so
yeah. Well, the fish I caught, I believe, was on big chunk of skipjack. We did manage a few skipjack here and there. They just weren't like you hope when you go down there. You just want to hammer them, slay your bait like for an hour in the morning, and then go fish with fresh bait all day. If you run out, just go back up to the dam and get some more. We got pretty spoiled like that, Zach and I. So,
well, lesson learned. I don't care where you go, despite what people may tell you, it ain't always that easy.
It ain't. It's
just not.
Well, I'll tell you, we fished a day with Doc Lang, and if you don't think the fishing's tough, when Doc Lang takes a skunk, you better think again. So we fished with Doc Lang, and we tried every trick in the book, and he was busting out, pulling out all the secrets, and we still couldn't manage to put a fish in the boat. So it was tough, but we did manage to catch some fish. We had a really good time. The weather was beautiful. It was supposed to rain and whatnot, but the weather was fantastic for us. So it ended up being a really good trip. And then, like I said, my daughter was home for my birthday and Thanksgiving. So, man, I'm telling you, I had a very blessed couple of weeks, and I appreciate you holding the fort down for me here. And I don't think very many people missed me. I didn't get no messages.
Well, we had fun. I didn't like I do a lot more than I care to admit. I did not really come into it with a really good plan, even though thinking about it for 2 days. And I said, you know what? Let's just wing it. Let's see what happened. And it ended up being a very good show. It ended up being a fun show and a very long show. Actually, I had a couple of great guests come up on panel with me, and which always makes it way easier than me just sitting there, like this the whole time.
Yeah,
it was nice. I had a really good time with that show.
Yeah, here lately, some of our best shows have been just no script. No, oh man, I don't know if I get copyright.
You got to send $5.
$5, Brian B.
Instead of £5, $5. Sorry, Brian.
We didn't have anything planned out, and we just kind of come on here and let the chat take the course, take the wheel, so to speak. So before we get rolling too far, we say hello to some folks that have tuned in with us already tonight. Absolutely. I seen Curtis Cunningham is who I see first in the house tonight. Right behind him is Danimal Creation. What's going on? 922 Crappie Barbecues in the house. Nebraska Wildcats. John Boy's in the house. What's going on? Catfishing with Cost. I haven't seen Brenda for a while. Welcome in, Brenda. Mike Greenwell Fishing. Buddy, congratulations on that 80-pound. Dude, I just watched it again. I watched it on my phone, but, you just don't get the full effect. I just watched it on my laptop a minute ago, his 6-minute video he put out. Dude, and to catch one like that by yourself, that's tough.
Yeah.
To put it in the boat by yourself, that's tough. So congratulations, Mike, man. Couldn't think of anybody that deserves a new PB any more than Mike does. He fishes hard. He's man, I tell you what, he's really stepped up his social media and influence. And so Man, hats off to you, man. You're putting in a lot of work, and I'll tell you that I noticed it, and I'm sure several other people do. Crappie Day Fish On, what's going on? Big Rich Catfishing's in the house. I think didn't he get a new PB too?
I tried. I got him close. I got him within 6 pounds.
I was gonna say I knew he had a big fish this last weekend. You guys had a really. I didn't get to catch that, but I knew that you guys got out and got on some really good fish. So
I did such a good job last time getting me on a new PB that I set the bar kind of high, and I couldn't get over the bar again this time. But again, we caught more total weight of fish than last time he came with me. So it was a good trip.
We got River Cats Tackle tuning in with us. What's up, buddy?
What's up, John?
Goober Time. What's up, Dan? In the house, Mr. Brandon Fishizzle, channel member. What's going on, buddy? We got somebody tuned in from Facebook. I don't. Mm-hmm. Actually, I do have it up over here. I might be able to sneak it if it ain't too far already. I might be able to see who that is. I might have gone too far on me already. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get back at it. We got Mr. Zach Murray in the house. What's up, River Brother? Cool Cats Fishing. What's going on? Two Stands is in the house. Dave Garcher's in the house. 205. Let's see. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. River Cat 3030. What's going on? There we go. We got Operations Vest with Nets. Bada bang, bada boom. What's up, brother? Catfishing and Dreams. Brandon's in the house. Just talked to him a little bit ago. Got some of those cool rattles he makes. Man, those are I'm ready to try those guys out. We're on anchor now. Our water temperature's down around 50 degrees. So our drifting and dragging is just about over if it ain't already. We got Epic Catfish in the house. What's up, Tim Scott? Harold Bolton, another channel member. Thank you, brother, for your support. Appreciate you. Buckeye Catfishing. What's going on, brother? Let's see, 205 Wild Action. I think I said it once, but I'll say it again.
What's going on, Mr. Greg?
Greg Burgess, what's happening, buddy?
Another one of my Louisiana people.
There you go.
Mr. Million Views himself, Parker Pursuits, and he hates when I say that.
$1 million man. $1 million man. We got, there you go, Danny Barry Sports Highlights. I've actually seen that name around a little bit. I don't know if I've seen it here.
A lot of stuff lately.
Welcome. There's our other brother, Skip Stewart, River Warrior. What's up, buddy? I kind of touched base with those two guys today, because, we all fish. We all fish these cold weather. And so I reached out to those guys today, said, hey, give me some, cold weather tips that I could pass on. And so we got a whole list of stuff to go over tonight, but we'll get to that here shortly. There he is, Mr. Kevin Walters, Mr. Monster Cat Catfishing himself, another channel member. Thank you, brother, for your support. And he's always been a big supporter of our community here. Stonefly 71 is like a brother here. Stonefly. He's been around for a long time.
Been around since the beginning, I believe. Pretty close to it.
Yeah, I believe so. Facebook user saying hi, Colt. So there's a shout out to Colt, whoever you are. I might be missing something there. Hey, Chucky's in the house. Nephew Austin D, what's going on? War Pig, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, there we go. There we got a name on that one. BK Boards.
There we go. That's Brian. BK Boards.
Awesome.
There's some good boards. We was out with Doc Lang, like I said, and that's all he uses is BK boards, and so we got to play with those for a day out there. Good quality boards. I like the big board, man. I don't know. The small boards they actually do just the job that you need. I really like the big visibility of that big board. It's so big, it stays on top of the water well. It's easy to see, and nothing I like more than, as you guys seen in Mike's video, that planer board just swooping back behind the boat, just going for a ride. I love that. Annette's Catfishing. What's going on? Let's see who else we got.
I see Hawk Catfishing. I see Fishing with the Squirrels, Small Water Charles, Mr. Mike Irvin's in the house, Lance Mukugai, one of my RCT brothers. What's going on, Lance? Catfishing for Real. Let's see. And I knew he was in there somewhere lurking, but there's our brother Chad.
You clicked the same time I did.
He's sneaking up in there. Then there's the other half of the Stan duo, the big fish catcher himself, Stan.
Yeah. That's right.
I think he's still mad at me from last time because I was giving away all his spots on the
I did catch part of that show, and I did see where you guys was checking out his area, and Hey, there's Mr. Ted Ellenbecker himself. Ted, hope you had a happy and safe holiday. Good to see you. Man, oh man, Catfish Weekly is in the house. Welcome aboard. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Ron?
Hey, Uptown Chrissy Brown. Chrissy Brown actually reached out to me this last week, talked a little bit. Hope Ernie's doing better. Also another channel member. Thank you so much for your support here. Let's see, Brian B. Catfishing.
Yep. What's up, Brian? See, you got to send him $5. See, I'm telling you, you owe him royalties on that.
He's a channel member. I don't know if I have to make it double now or not.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that Dad in the house?
That's Dad. What's up,
Dad?
I bet Mom's watching too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for stopping in. We had one of the best Thanksgivings we've had a long time. My daughter was home, like I said, and we got all the family together. We was missing a few people here and there, but we got everybody together and had a really good Thanksgiving holiday. Couldn't have been any better. Finally healing up. That's good, buddy. Time to get back out on the water. This is big fish season down around here. When this starts cooling down and things get howdy beep beep Uncle Jeep. There we go.
Kelly Bullock in the house.
And there it is, Uptown Chrissy Brown. She's been a member for 13 months. Thank you so much for your support.
Cool.
Means a lot. Mom's in the house.
From my wife. Happy belated birthday, Roger.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. It was a great birthday. I got to spend it with both my girls, and it was a good time.
Yep. Every
time I see Roger's hat, I want it. You want this hat? It says Ohio on it.
It is a nice hat.
It's a Catfish clothing hat. That's where I got it. Catfish clothing. I don't have a code, but Hog Leg, what's going on?
The host with the most. What's going on, brother?
Good deal. Man, we got 78 people tuning in already.
Almost called him the hostess with the mostest, but that's Becca. See, I can't swap those nicknames.
Yeah.
Got to be
careful. There you go. Tim giving props to Ted Ellenbecker. Ted is so old school. Even I have one of his Catfish cassette tapes.
Ooh.
There you go. We might have to explain what a cassette tape is to some of these folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
some I know. I'm just old enough to know these things. Just old enough.
So I know we both Jeremy and I talked during the week, and we both had some show ideas, and this is one that we both had on our list.
Yep.
And I got to tell you that this last weekend I went fishing with Zach, and for the first time in a long time we had to deal with the cold. And Zach was on the front of the boat throwing the cast net, and the deck got wet, and that's a Sea Arc boat. It's all aluminum. And once it got wet, it froze. And it's super slick surface up there on the front of the boat. Very, very dangerous scenario to put yourself in. We worked through it, very carefully. And then when we loaded the boat up, we had to, lower the motor down and drain the lower unit out and make sure we drained all the water out of the motor, because we got these freezing cold temperatures. And we all know that water in the lower unit can cause it to freeze and bust. Doesn't mean it will, but it does happen. It happened to me once on an outboard. I'm telling you, I don't care what year motor you got, a lower unit is not cheap.
No. And don't think for a second that it can't happen, because the exact same thing can happen to a cast iron engine block, which is 3 times the thickness. If it can crack that old cast iron, it will crack an aluminum lower unit. I promise you.
There you go. Yeah, the power of water is unreal, whether it's moving, sitting still, or just freezing. Kelly says he proved today that cold water affects fishing even in a creek. So I'm not sure. I didn't catch. I did see. I thought he was live just a little bit ago, but I didn't catch. And somebody forgot to put a transom saver on.
That sounded very specific.
Did we forget that this weekend? Did I forget that?
It sounds like you're being called out. It's the way I took it.
That sounds like I forgot to put the transom saver on.
That's what it sounds like.
I wouldn't know that I didn't, because I would assume I did. We have a pretty solid routine, but we usually double check ourselves.
I see. Zach was maybe telling on himself.
Well,
it was we. So okay.
I think I grabbed the transom saver out of the back of the truck, which means I put it in my. Oh, that is what happened. I grabbed the transom saver out of the back of the truck. I walked to the back of the boat to put it on. Zach had the motor down to drain it.
Gotcha.
Then Zach put the motor back up, and I did not circle back around, put the transom saver on. It's a we. But see, that's what happened. That's why this show was important to me, is because just like that, we went from not having to worry in the world about that to, oh crap, we now have to worry about it every trip. That's new.
Look, Brian reminded me Saturday when we came back, he knew that cold weather was coming. It might not have got right down to freezing, but still he reminded me, hey, you're not gonna drain the water out of your foot? Because normally I don't worry about that. And I was like, had the transom saver on and everything. So I said, you know what? I'm glad you said it. When I get home, I'm going to drop my transom saver and I'm going to let my motor down, which is exactly what I did. I remember, Brian. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, like I said, that could be a really costly mistake. I'm not sure. I hope we didn't lose the transom saver, because I laid it up on the back of the boat somewhere once I realized the water was draining. There you go. Cool Cat said, when I pulled my boat out tonight, the ramp was ice, super slick. Took a couple of pulls to get it up out of the ramp. Okay. So that's going to go ahead and get me straight to this next one. It is, we lost the transom saver. Oh, crap. That's not good. All right, I got to get back on track.
Deduct a couple of cool points, and that's it.
Yep. Dang. See, we talk about double checking ourselves and having a routine. We have a routine. The cold weather got us out of rhythm. So anyway, now is the time to put some salt in your truck, all right, or your car, or whatever you use to haul your boat with. Because those ramps will freeze over quick, especially in the morning time right now. If you're one of those guys that get there early, like we are, we're usually the first one in the water. One of the things you could do to kind of be the nice guy is, instead of just yanking your trailer out of the water and running it clear up to the parking lot and letting that water just pour all over the concrete and freeze up, when you pull out, just stop for a minute. I mean, it might be a whole minute, maybe even 2 minutes, but let as much of that water drain off your trailer back into the river or lake before you take off up the ramp. And you could save somebody losing their truck or trailer or boat or busting their rear end because you completely wetted down the ramp. So it takes a sec. It does take a minute or two more of your time, but when you pull out, just stop for a minute, try to let as much water drain out as you possibly can. But like I said, hang on a second. Got something saying somebody's trying to access my login information.
That ain't good.
I know there's been some crazy stuff going on around here lately. I don't know what's going on. People bank accounts getting hacked.
Well, the Muskrat Adventures Facebook page had some very interesting posts put up there past couple of days. Very informative. I get messages like, hey, something. Yeah, I don't know how or why. We try to block them, take them down. I got some great moderators in there that help keep an eye on it. I know Brandon is one, Becca's one, Zach is one, I'm one. I probably need a couple more because just to keep that crap off of there. It's bad lately. Yeah. I mean, it's every group, man. I'm in a ton of groups, fishing related groups, and they just popping up everywhere. Yep.
So I don't know. I tried to delete it and move on, unless it's something I'm interested in. But
so many jokes I can make, and I'm not going to be good tonight. I'm not going to make jokes, at least not about that.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on. I was looking for a comment up there. I seen Kevin. There you go. And I wanted to talk about this. Wintertime fishing ain't no joke. I about died last year due to a frozen, busted pump. Sank my boat. All right. And then I think it was who just said that down there? Warpig. Warpig says if you're not using your live well, plug it off or pay attention to frozen hoses. Okay, so if you've got a live well, water that comes in to the system, okay, and then gets pumped into the tank. And this time of year, unless you're tournament fishing, you're not using that. You want to plug that from the outside. Get that plugged up. You know, they make all kinds of different size plugs. Most of them will take your boat hole plug, but they make other size plugs as well. Because here's what happened to Kevin is that water got in there. Okay, most of them have a check valve that once that water gets in, it can't go back out. All right. So that water's in there in that plastic line, and then it freezes and busts the plastic line. Well, when you put your boat in the water's coming in, but now your line's busted and your boat's filling up. And I could tell you from personal experience, Harley Neal, if he was in here, he'd vouch for me. That is very hard to find unless you're looking for that, because he started taking on water about sank his boat in the middle of the high river. He was lucky enough to get back to the bank and get it loaded up, and he took it home. And except for the bilge pump. You don't want to plug up your bilge pump. You want to keep that bad boy ready to go. Most bilge pumps only have a very short spout on them that usually won't freeze. They don't have a bellow or a holding system and a check valve there. The check valve is after the pump. But anyway, it froze up, and he filled his boat up trying to figure out where in the world all this water came from, and he couldn't find it. He couldn't find a leak. Nothing was coming out the drain hole. He couldn't figure out where the water was coming from, and that's what it ended up being. And one of those lines had froze and busted. There you go. Buckeye says, I bought rubber plugs for all the holes in the hull. So yeah, that can really, I mean, I'm telling you, that will sink your boat. And like Kevin said earlier, you know, we about lost Kevin last year because his boat going down due to a water line freezing and busting. So I'm telling you, it happens faster than you think, and you think it's not going to happen to you until you're on here talking about it, and it happened.
And especially like in my situation, and Roger's going to get very mad at me when I say this, and well, I don't care, but we don't see hardly any weather that cold that gets down to where it's freezing for that long. You know, we don't normally have issues like what y'all are talking about, but in a way it makes it more dangerous for me had I not known and hearing y'all talk about it, these things to watch out for, because that some of these things are unheard of to me. But if it were ever to happen, at least I know that it's a possibility. You know, things about, you know, pump lines freezing and things like that in a boat, that's very foreign to me. And bringing salt to put on a boat ramp that's a very foreign idea for me. But it's dangerous in a way because I'm just not used to it. That's not the first thought in my mind. So it helps me to hear y'all talk about those things just in case.
Yeah. If you ever start experiencing those type of temperatures, you're going to really want to have some of these things in the back of your mind, because it can make a difference. I mean, you get on an icy ramp and you don't check it beforehand. So Zach and I, we usually have a routine. We will walk down the ramp and see what the condition is before we ever put the boat and trailer on it. Because you could lose your truck and trailer and boat and all to the river or the lake if the ramp's icy. So pick up a bag of salt, or like Stan 3 said, you know, get you a bag of sand or whatever it is you prefer to use.
Yep.
And make it to where you can get in and out of the water safely. All right. Especially in the evening coming in, there may be somebody who pulled out ahead of you. They blasted water up the ramp. It froze, and now you're in trouble. Well, keep yourself out of trouble. Another one is a shovel. You know, right now we had snow, actually flurries all day today. Now they didn't accumulators do anything, but it's coming. Snow's coming. And, you know, you can push that snow off and make yourself, you know, we can't forget the chainsaw or Jeremy, or you might not be able to fish. But not everybody's crazy enough to chainsaw their way into a fishing hole.
Well, we know how bad you want to get there.
Harold Bolton says use some cheap kitty litter, which is also a great alternative.
Yep.
And reasonably priced. You know, you can throw a couple bags in the back of the truck, and you know, you might not use it, but in the event that you need it, you got it. Greetings from Dallas, Texas. River Chronicles. What's up, buddy?
Hello, brother.
Appreciate you tuning in. We're going over some stuff. Well, talking about somebody who probably doesn't need cold weather tactics and and information. We're talking about Texas, but just because it's Texas doesn't mean it doesn't get cold.
Dallas is quite a bit further north than what I am. Like straight line distance, probably like 3 hours further north than where I'm at. So he could get a little more of that than I could. It's possible.
Two Stan said we used to build bonfires out on the ice. The fire doesn't melt the ice that well because
I can't. No,
you're not going to be out on it.
I can't even do. I can't.
Big Brent says I've never heard of this snow.
Yeah, I know, right? It slushes here. It doesn't snow. Yeah, we don't get
snow.
That. But before I started trophy catfishing, the idea of fishing during winter was never a thought of my mind until probably about 5 years ago. That's just not something we did. And now we went hunting during the cold period, but when you're on the water on a boat, being properly prepared for cold temperatures, having enough clothes on. I tell people you got to kind of dress like you're riding a motorcycle. Okay. It gets way colder when you got that boat skint back on that water than it is just sitting there.
Oh yeah.
That wind will cut right through you. Making sure you have, believe it or not, making sure you have enough to eat and enough to drink, because look, your body has to produce heat to try to keep you warm. If you don't feed it, it helps a lot with you being cold. You got to fuel the furnace. Okay. You got to be able to generate that to keep, and also it helps, you can get hypothermia just sitting in a boat and not being wet. Don't think it can't happen. And if you don't eat or don't drink anything, you could very, very slowly creep yourself into a hypothermic stage. And you start, when you're shaking from cold and you can't stop, you are in the beginning stages of hypothermia. You are. When your teeth are chattering and you can't make them stop, you're there. So some of that prevention just goes a long, long, long way of just dealing with being out in the cold.
Well, I can tell you that there's lots of reasons we may get hypothermia because we fish in any condition, but not eating isn't going to be one of them.
Oh yeah, y'all definitely do not have that. Y'all gonna eat. That is for sure.
We're gonna have some food. I mean, hell, we get cold, we just fire up the grill and heat our hands up. I mean, it's it's a multi-purpose scenario out there. Brian
holding that nice, warm, fully cooked Johnsonville better cheddar in your hand, it will keep your hands warm.
It will. It's a great hand warmer, and then you put it in your belly, and it just warms you head to toe. Brian wants to know what our thoughts are on solar battery chargers while you're out on the water. And I can tell you that I don't have any experience with these at all. The only thing I can give you is my immediate thought is I don't know that any solar powered battery chargers produce enough energy to compensate for energy loss. Now it depends on what battery you're trying to charge, but a cranking battery that you just get a burst. In my opinion, if you've got it charged, I don't see you needing to charge it. So the only battery that I could think of that you need to charge with solar would be your trolling motor batteries. And I don't know that this is true. Technology is far beyond anything I ever, dreamed, but I don't see a solar powered charger being able to keep up with the capacity and the amperage used by any trolling motor.
The only thing I can maybe say
that's
is
my opinion. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna geek out for just a second. Is I have a 24-inch by 24-inch solar panel that I will put out with some of my GPS equipment at work, and I know for a fact when I turn the external radio on wide open, that baby pulls 35 watts at 12 volts. Okay, she's pulling about 3-4 amps, of power, which is not nearly what a trolling motor puts out. And the best thing that solar panel will do for me when hooked on my big Group 31 battery is I find it slows down the rate that it goes dead. It cuts that in about half. Instead of smoking that battery in 4 or 5 hours, it'll actually let it go for all day at the end of a shift before the battery goes dead. And it's a solar panel that we'd bought at Harbor Freight. I don't know how long ago. So, based on those numbers, you can maybe kind of figure something out. But that's on a 12-volt battery. If you're running a 24-volt trolling motor, well, then you need 2 of them, or but you can kind of figure out. It slows it down. Does it actually keep up the battery? No, it doesn't. It helps the battery last a little longer for me for that use.
Yeah, I don't see that there's any disadvantage to having a solar charger. Yeah. I don't know the geek part of it, as far as watts and amperage and longevity and pull and all that. We got Pat here from Twisted Cat Tackle. First of all, welcome in, brother. And he was actually one that reached out to me last week and said, "Hey, you might want to check your Muskrat page. There's some stuff going on over there."
Yeah,
got it. We dropped the hammer. He says he's going to add a small removable heater to the kayak. Now, I have never heard of that. He says, I'm not freezing half to death out there anymore.
I think Justin Johnson brings one on his.
Really?
If I remember, I want to say he does. And I think Ryan Bortz has one he puts in his, if I remember right.
Well,
I think.
I just might not be paying enough attention. But Danny was shaking like a dog trying to pass a peach seed last Saturday during the show. I missed that part of the show. Hey, today's Danny Stone's birthday. He said his birthday was a week after mine, and that makes today a week after mine. So that means today is Danny's birthday. Is today's Danny's birthday?
Is it? Come on, Danny, you got to let us know.
I imagine somebody would have said happy birthday by now, or I missed it.
It's possible.
Sue Woolley on here says, make sure you keep your life jackets on. All right, so let's talk about life jackets for a minute. And this is gonna be a turn in the show here for a minute. But I wanna try to make this impactful, and I want to try to make this meaningful and make sure that we take something away. This last year, we lost our friend Shane Henderson in a boating accident where his boat took on water, and it was cold. This was in spring of this year when the water was still cold. And Shane did not have his life jacket on. And it's very likely that if he had his life jacket on, he'd still be with us today. When your body goes in water that cold, it does not take long for you to go into shock, and it doesn't take long for your body to stop working like you think it should. Especially if you're completely submersed and you take on water. Guys, I don't want to see anybody here in chat. Jeremy, you, me, anybody. I don't want to see anybody have to go through what Shane and his family had to go through this year. So please get a life jacket. If you just get a cheap one, get a cheap one. If you want to spend the money and get the inflatable ones, do that. I will tell you that it's always been recommended to me by my mentors. So Doc Lang and Chris Souders and many others will tell you that in the frigid temperatures, you can't always depend on the inflatable life vests, right? Because those are plastics and things like that may or may not crack or hold up against the extreme temperatures. So it's recommended to just buy you a foam or padded life jacket. Myself personally, I like the kayakers life jackets. They seem to have more room. They have a huge padding in the backrest and around the stomach area and whatnot. They have flotation in the chest as well. Not only do they provide flotation to you, that is insulation. Those life jackets are foam. Okay. So that is insulation. You think about how you insulate a house and buildings. Styrofoam is what they use to insulate the buildings and houses. These are styrofoam. So not only will they, help protect you if you do go into the water, they also help you against the cold. So, when we talked about safety, the first thing that came to mind was losing Shane this year. And, just simply wearing a life jacket. I'm not saying it would have, because, nobody can see the future. Nobody knows, all the outcomes or possible what ifs, but it definitely would have gave him a much better chance at survival if he had had his on. So I know I don't want to make a too dark of a turn in the show, because we are having a good time and we love talking about it, but more importantly, having a good time. I want my message to stick. I want you guys to hopefully see that guy's face and say, even if you didn't know him or never heard of him before, know that he's gone and his family's missing him because, he didn't have a life jacket on. So we'll turn the page.
Check your laws. In Louisiana, if that big motor is running, it's by law you have to have it on. It's not an option just to have it in the boat. You have to have it on you, plus your throwable and everything else. So check your laws.
There you go. Danny Stone says, I carry a red flag. If I get buried in the snow, I can run it up Black Betty. They will find me.
I can see him doing that too. I could.
Hey, real quick, I seen Big Mike joined us. Pontoon Jody's in the house. Rob Fox is here as well. Johnny Small Pepper, what's going on? Thank you guys for stopping in. We appreciate it. So here we go. We got somebody that has some experience with it. That is correct. I use a solar charger from a trolling motor battery. Okay. It's more of a maintenizer. Keeps the current charge. So So basically exactly like what you said there earlier, it may not replenish the battery exactly, but it could definitely help slow down the effect. It will give you more runtime. So
it'll crunch it.
But I think more along his line is it more beneficial in the cold weather? Because we both know that the cold will draw batteries down quicker than warmth. So, helping balance that cold draw down by a warm solar powered, charger may balance that back out, and you'll get your summertime runtime or spring runtime out of your batteries instead of diminished. Sorry. I was trying to read some more. I was trying to read some more chats. Tim said, I think everybody should wear life jackets when necessary. This right here is actually an investment I think I'm going to make here soon is heated gloves. I spend money on all the hot hands I can get my hands on, and they do seem to do the trick. But I've seen some decently priced battery powered gloves that I thought, I don't know, maybe that might be a way to go.
I've only recently discovered how great a bait towel is in cold weather. Now, allow me to explain. Like I said, we don't get all this frigid, freezing weather like y'all do, but okay, you cut your bait, hands are all slimy and all this stuff. What does everybody do? You go to the edge of your boat, you put your hands in the water, go to wash your hands, right? With a good bait towel hanging off your hip, you can actually dry your hands very well, and you're not sitting there with cold, wet hands and then putting them in your pockets to try to warm them up. Now the inside of your pockets are wet, and before you know it, your hands are just cold. Having a good bait towel or something hanging on your hip to really dry your hands off to try to warm them back up, it pays dividends in the cold weather. It really does.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It does make a big difference on go with the vest. Yeah, inflatable will freeze up in the winter. Yeah, we wanted to try to push that point, because I think that hang on a second. I think that it's relevant. You don't want to put your life on the line really with an inflatable vest and hope that it works, hope that it deploys and inflates like it's supposed to. And you're doing that, you're basically risking that for comfort. You don't want to wear the big bulky life jacket because it's uncomfortable, kind of restricting, it's ugly, whatever your reason is. Is it worth it or not? Do you want to, just exactly at one point you got to say what is your life worth? And so on that topic, I've looked at these several times, and when they talk about what your life is worth, I'll share with you here. This is a an avenue that I think I'm going to go towards. Now, not right now because they are very expensive. I should have bought it during the summer or whenever they were cheap, but I didn't. But you have all these different name brand. Now, this is a highly recommended name brand. Striker has been around for a long time. They've got a great reputation. They got some great products, but they also have a hefty price tag. What am I missing?
I'm not going to highlight Epic's comment, but I'm not deleting it either, though. Jody was talking about getting getting hunting muffs and anyway. Oh my God. I needed that.
Yeah, that's anyway, what I'm trying to say here is, you've got these are basically ice fishing suits that you can get that are built-in flotation, automatic, will float, keep you alive for who knows how long. Some of them actually have duration times, guaranteed with them. Some of them are guaranteed for, I don't know. They do have times, I say, guaranteed to keep you afloat for 30, 40 minutes. Well, if you're in the water longer than 30, 40 minutes, you're in trouble. But the real advantage with these is there's no mechanical, devices to pull. There's no, and they're not bulky. So it's a 2-in-1. You're wearing your cold weather gear. It is insulated, and it also has flotation in it, which is also more insulation because it's not inflatable. They're like, foam, closed cell foam inside these things that help keep your body heat in and keep you afloat. So you could do two things at once here and wear protective clothing. And then the event that you do go into the water for some reason, and nobody plans to go in the water. It's an accident. That's what happens. And I gotta be honest with you, with my health condition, this is probably where I should have been a long time ago, because I'm more susceptible to falling in than a lot of people because of my issues. But just along those lines, I've got a set of an ice suit, flotation suit in my cart on Amazon that I've watched for like a year, and I actually went cheap during the summer. I still couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But it's just another alternative. If you haven't thought about it yet, think about, there's a lot of PC Fun just come out with a flotation suit. I think they're around 150 or $60 a piece. Top
somebody said here that they actually, I guess there's a video on the side of it, they actually demonstrated about how it works. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, so think about it, and at the end of the day, what got me to that comment was, what's your life worth? Some of this stuff is expensive. But I could tell you, not even talking about the flotation side of things, several years ago, I invested in a Cabela's guideware suit, right? Because I'm out in the element a lot, right? So I'm basically considered it an investment in myself. I bought Frog Togs. I bought, they had a tougher brand called Toads, and they were pretty nice. You got the Bass Pro 100-mile-an-hour suits, and you got Cabela's guideware, and you've got Huck has good stuff, and Fraybill makes good stuff. And once you bite the bullet and invest in some decent clothing for yourself, you'd wish you'd done it years ago. Because I have more of the crap out of mine. I mean, you guys know we fish a lot, like every week, sometimes 2-3 times a week, depending on the weather. I fish a lot, and cold weather doesn't slow us down none. And I have put mine through the paces, and it is still like new. It's great shape. It's holding up very well. Big Mike says he has a 100-mile-an-hour suit. Zach has a 100-mile-an-hour suit that he uses and wears and loves. It's Matt. Oh, all right, Matt. Matt Jones. I'm sure that is.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's your brother. And then we got Chris also in from Facebook user. When you invest in that stuff, eventually it pays for itself. Sooner or later. You can buy the cheap stuff, but then you end up buying it 2, 3, 4 times.
You do.
And you could have just bought the nice stuff and never been out of the element. And I tell you, when you have really good gear, you're not afraid of the elements. You just like, you don't really worry so much about, the percentage of rain or the cold or whatever, because, you've got something that's going to protect you and you're comfortable. Yeah. Epic says the guide wear is the bomb. Cabela's guide wear is what I decided to go with. Yep. I did a lot of research, and that's a lot of money to invest. So I wanted to make sure that, I was putting it to best use that I could.
Yeah. I mean, look, Saturday for us is a good example. It was 41, 42 degrees, which, that's chilly for us, especially with the humidity and the fog and everything else. And somebody, I'm not going to name his name, that rhymes with Big Wrench, was picking on me because of my face mask that I had. But he was not laughing about the time I skint that boat back and trimmed it up cold like it was.
Sorry, buddy.
He wasn't laughing anymore. You got to be prepared.
You get chilly.
Mm-hmm.
So the clothing, definitely, insulated, wind and waterproof, I think, are the biggest thing. Because you can wear all you want, but if the wind cuts through you, you're done. Or if you get wet, you're done. So, something that's waterproof and windproof, it's going to last and hang out there with you. Whether you buy the insulated, if you don't buy insulated, you can always layer up underneath. The thing about layering is just be careful on your materials. Yeah. Cotton is the devil when it comes to moisture, because cotton absorbs moisture and it does not wick away, and you can't dry it very quickly.
Yeah. Cotton is great for a second layer. You don't want the cotton layer against your skin.
On your body. Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah. So, take a time to look at that as far as all the synthetic blends and polyesters and, different base layers that you can get that'll wick moisture away from your body and help keep you dry, and which will also ultimately keep you warm. But at the same time, if you do get wet, this time of year is a good time of year to put extra clothes in the truck or the car or whatever you do.
Yep.
And I think it's been a couple of years since we talked about this exact situation, but and I haven't done it, but I should. And I talk about it, and I know it's the right thing to do. But I think Ziploc and a couple other companies out there make a bag that you can load up. I think it's made for like quilts and blankets, and you can take a vacuum cleaner to it, and it sucks it and compresses it all down. Yep. And then you can close it. Well, that would be a great idea to put your extra clothes in. Take you some sweatpants and a hoodie and some warm clothes that if you do get wet, you've got something that is vacuum sealed. It will go down to nothing almost. You could store it, hide it in your truck, your boat, your car, whatever, wherever. If you bank fish, your boat fish. And that's the thing, I thought about this earlier. We gear a lot of this talk towards boats, but if you think about it, bank anglers right now are probably more at risk for falling in the water because the banks are slick, the rocks are slick, things are icy, snowy, and they're more susceptible, I believe, to going into the water than most of us boat anglers. Yeah. And so, keep those extra clothes, Ziploc bag or however you got to do it, and keep them handy so that you can get them space bags at Harbor Freight. There you go. Mm-hmm. Space bag.
I wanted to highlight this comment so I could highlight another comment, but Jerry's right, because I do the exact same thing. I wear the same Carhartts that I wear at work. My big, heavy, stiff, nasty Carhartt work jacket that comes with me on the boat, comes with me to work. And they do work great. However, Buck has a very good point. They weigh a ton. You can't move around real good in them. They're definitely not made to get wet. I can tell you that right now. And I know with me, it's something I think about all the time. And I did it Saturday. I don't want to start holding a big fish in my Carhartts. I got to wear that to work the next day.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is I hurry up and come out of the Carhartt coat down to my long sleeve. I can get that all slimy. I don't care. And then hurry up. Oh, now that I'm cold, got to throw my Carhartt back on. So having dedicated fishing gear for what you're trying to do, it does help in that respect too. Because now you're not getting your work clothes all slimed up and everything else. Maybe Jerry likes that kind of thing.
Jerry says the Buck, the ductwear Carhartts are lightweight.
Okay.
what I got's heavy. You know, I got Carhartts. I wore them this weekend. I wore them. They are heavy. They are a little immobilizing. You know, not completely immobilizing, but they do restrict you some.
Yep.
Dry bag. Earth Pack is great. Earth Pack has 55-liter backpack. Dry pack works great if you're not worried about space.
Okay.
So there's a great alternative too. I think everybody at some point worries about space, but that sounds like you could pack a lot in it, and and keep it dry. So
yeah.
So that was one that I had. I'm trying to look over here. We had a chat going earlier. Ice on the boat. Talked about that. See, there's not a whole lot we can do about that either. On like an aluminum boat, you can't put salt on an aluminum boat.
No, you don't want to do that.
No. So, we had to be extra careful and, wait for the sun to come out, kind of thaw that stuff out a little bit.
See, I've never had that happen yet. I figure one of these days. I've never been where it's so cold where the water on my deck was freezing. I've been close, but I hadn't been there yet. But I think the first time it happens, everybody gonna know about it because you're probably gonna get a blooper video out of it.
Epic says I ruin all my clothes with slime, Jeremy. I'm just not that smart. Well, I imagine Epic, if he only had dedicated clothes to fishing, it's pretty much the rest of his wardrobe.
Yeah.
Jody wants to know, and this actually, I had this written as one of my next topics to talk about heaters on the boat. I have a heater.
Yeah, I don't.
I have a heater on the boat. I have mine that connects to, one of the 20-pound propane cylinders. It's like a Mr. Buddy heater. Actually, I have a dual head one. So if it gets really cold, I can fire both sides up. But here's the thing you got to be careful about. And I think Jody had a mishap like this, getting too close to the heater and burning. Did she burn her coat?
So I seem like I remember something about this.
So I'm telling on you here, Jody, but
sounds familiar.
One of the things that was talking about is if you do decide to put a heater on the boat, and I do recommend it if you have room for it and you can do it safely. It's a great asset to have. The small buddy heaters that take the little canisters are great. I run a big one just because I got the Blackstone grill on the boat, so I already have a big tank on the boat, and I just double use it as a heater as well. But you have to be very careful that you don't catch something or yourself on fire. Because out on the water anywhere is a bad place to have a fire.
Yeah. In the middle of a boat. So that's going to be bad.
Jeremy, I imagine smells like gumbo all the time.
It is getting that time of year. I'm not going to lie. It is that time of year where I may or may not smell like gumbo, like a lot. It's a beautiful thing. It is.
Right. Now, here we go. These are the types of comments I love to see because, anytime you got a new item on the market, you always wonder about, anybody can advertise the shit out of something and make it look great, right?
Yep.
But until you actually know or see somebody that's used it and it can account for it. So Dominic says the PC Fun suit is freaking fantastic. I've seen it in action firsthand.
Good to know.
And, just depends on how much you trust Dominic's opinion. But that's the first good thing that I've heard of somebody who's seen it in action. Because I'm always skeptical in new products.
Yeah.
Hot Hands makes a lot of great products, lasts up to 10 hours. Jim says, catch your butt on fire. Yeah, you got to be careful about getting too close to the heater. I wear double layers, and I always burn a hole through the first layer. Jody, girl, you gotta get back.
Yeah. See, if all else fails, just start catching a couple of big fish. You'll get warm. You'll warm up pretty quick, and the layers will start.
We don't all have that luxury, Jeremy, where we could just go catch a big fish real quick. Hey,
heck, I don't have that luxury all the time. What you talking about?
Hey, there's Paula Smith's in the house. Paula says I have a heater, but you have to be careful with them. Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword. Where risk or the reward comes with risk, and if Jody blows the boat up, lighting the heater, you're going swimming anyway. Bob set his butt on fire during the first King of Tennessee tournament. I fished with him. Oh, look at that. Pat's letting the cat out the bag. The Bobcat.
No, it's hey, y'all better watch. He don't have any lifting restrictions anymore. So I'm just saying.
I saw.
Y'all better watch it. That dude is fixing to go wild. on everybody.
I don't think we want to go here. Technically speaking, a fire can only go so far on a boat.
Technically,
yeah, but
the only problem is you're still in it.
All the way is how far it can go.
Yeah, from one end to the other. It's like saying, how far do you think this plane will go with no engines? All the way to the scene of the crash.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where it's going. Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's see what else I got. So we talked about salt. We got shovel. We got heaters. It kind of sounds silly to say because we think about it, but, double checking the weather. I know everywhere is about the same. Everyone's like, oh, you don't like the weather, wait 20 minutes, it'll change. Well, that's pretty much everywhere. I mean, there's some places a little more extreme than others. We feel like Ohio we can go through 4 seasons in a day. And it's just, that's all over. But, just because you check the weather the day before, 2 days ago, don't just assume that nothing's changed. Double check yourself before you head out so you're prepared, and that's really what the topic of today's show is about. It's just being prepared, mentally, physically prepared to deal with the elements, whatever they may be. And I heard this, I think it was Kayak Mike. I watched one of my old episodes a couple of years ago where we talked about this, and Kayak Mike came on and he gave two great sayings. One is, are you ready to go in the water? Are you ready to go in the water?
Nope.
And you're like, no, I don't want to go. The idea is not to go in the water. Yeah, that's what everyone's idea is until they're in the water. So start thinking about, like, am I ready to go in the water?
That's good right there.
Jacket is $169 today. The three-piece set is $149. I'm not sure what that. I think the three-piece set is the three-piece jacket, the parka. I think.
Yeah, like maybe wrong. Like the three-piece might come with the lighter jacket, not the big one.
Yeah, there's a three-piece one that's like the parka. It's got the liner and it's got something else that goes on with it, and then you got the bibs as well.
Yeah,
they're definitely a lot more cost friendly than the alternatives. Buckeye says non-insulated. I wonder how it has flotation if it's not insulated. So that throws a flag. I'd have to look at it myself. Stonefly says, Dr. Appointment 7 a.m. Talk to you guys later. Be wise, stay safe. All right, man. Thank you, brother, for stopping in. One of the things we thought about was just use common sense.
Yep.
But unfortunately, common sense ain't that common anymore. And one of the other things that Kayak Mike said, and I thought was really, really interesting. I probably should have started the show with this because this is ultimately the most defining moment of your safety is you are responsible for your safety, nobody else. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel comfortable or you don't feel safe in whatever scenario you're thinking about doing, don't do it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you are the only person responsible for your safety. And if you're the captain of the boat, you are responsible for everyone on that boat. And, we hear stories about boats going down, tournament, we had those big catastrophe, year before. At the end of the day, it is the captain's decision whether they are capable of running their vessel safely in whatever the condition is. And at the same time, you as an individual are responsible for your safety. If you're not okay with whatever the decision's made, then you need to remove yourself from that situation or speak up or change it, whatever that is. If you're thinking about going out and trying something that you've never tried and you're pushing the boundaries of what you're comfortable with, maybe it's not the right time to do that. Because at the end of the day, nobody else can save you but yourself. You gotta be willing to accept responsibility for yourself and your own safety.
And it's a good point. If you're not 100% prepared, don't do it. Hope is not a plan. Doing something and hoping it'll be okay is not a plan.
Yeah. Yep. That is 100% right. So, just keep that in the back of your mind. Mm-hmm. Oh, here's a couple other good ones. Now, letting somebody know where you are. Okay.
Yep.
So Life 360 is an app that I think most kids are using. Some parents use it to keep track of their kids. I'll tell you now that it is I have it for my kids and my family. I can look right now. You got it for your kids. Why aren't we sharing that information with our spouses or our fishing buddies? Right. I could say, hey, my boat's going down. I'm at the gut. There's only like 2 people, 3 people that knows where the hell that is.
Yeah.
You know,
I sure they don't.
Now, my phone is going to give an exact GPS location where I am based on that app. And that information could be shared, with, with law enforcement. It could be shared with rescue. It could be shared with the buddy that knows where you are. And I'm sure there's other tracking apps out there that could do the same thing, but Life 360 is one that I have been using and feel comfortable with. I think it's very user friendly. But it would be a great tool to have to, even if you share it with your fishing buddies, share it with your spouse, your significant other, your kids, your family. And for that reason, that somebody is aware of where you are at all times. So Big Wrench says, I do have Life 360 with my wife. So that's great.
I've got it. And Laura convinced me of it, and she was right. I'm on the road so much, driving here and everywhere, and she convinced me to get it. And, the version we have, if it senses a crash, automatically sends a notification. If your phone is fixing to go dead or if your phone shuts off, it sends a notification with your last known GPS ping. It is handy. She called me Friday because I was bank fishing trying to catch some bait. She calls me. She's like, where are you? I said, I'm literally with my rod in my hand at the hydro. What's up? Life 360 was showing my ping in the water, and she got worried. I said, no. It's just the river's so dang low. Where I'm standing right now on the bank should be underwater, but it's not. The picture, I'm standing on dry land. I promise, I'm good. But the ping showed I was like 40 feet out in the water. So it was it was a funny moment. But then again, it's like it's legit because she could see where I was at, got worried, and at least she could get the peace of mind of, oh, okay, well, everything's fine.
I'll second here. I was trying to see.
I get that at work sometimes too. We'll be working on these levees at work, and our borrow pits are always on the river side. Well, sometimes the map shows that it's supposed to be part of the river, and it's not. It's dry land. And she's like, "Why does it show you in the water, going back and forth, 200 feet at a time?" I said, "Well, because I'm in the borrow pit on a dozer. That's what I'm literally doing. I'm going back and forth, 200 feet at a time."
A couple things here real quick. Pumpkin Jody makes an interesting, a very great point here is make sure you can get back in the boat. So my boat is very tall. A lot of folks use the trick of coming in by the back of the boat, climbing up on the motor. You can somebody could tilt the motor in and helps, get you into the boat. And so that is a possibility.
Just make sure it ain't running.
Yeah, make sure it's not running.
Make sure the motor's not on.
Turn the motor off before you try climbing up the back of the motor. But like they make, like on my boat, I've got a set of ladders that just have they look like candy canes that go over the side of my boat that I could flip over the side of the boat. Now I can climb back into the boat should I get out because especially if I'm wet, ain't too many of y'all pulling me into the boat. And even though I've lost some weight, you're still not pulling me in the boat. Not very easily.
It's great. It's great. Like on mine, it's a newer motor. It's a 2020 model. I've got the trim button on the side of the motor. So literally, if I were by myself in the water, if I can get to the transom of that boat, I can lower my own motor. I can put my foot on the cavitation plate and pick myself up. It is great having that button on the side of the motor for something like that.
Looking at something real quick. I seen Tackle Direct has the Striker Ice Climate Jacket for $165.
Nice.
Man, if that's I'm on Striker's website right now. Here, I'll just show you.
Yeah, check it out.
Tackle Direct has Striker Ice Climate Jacket for $165. Here is the Ice Climate Jacket. Actually, it says it's 50% off at checkout. So original price is $329. So
Wow.
Let's go with an extra large right here. Add to cart. Let's see what that turns out to be. Wow, that's $165.
Wow.
And that's from Striker's website.
That's a heck of a deal right there.
I don't know what Tackle Direct, if they got any other promotions. This qualifies for free shipping. I don't know if like over $100 or something, but it does say free shipping on this. That's half price. Wow. River Runner, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I tell you, now I don't know anything about the PC Fun stuff, right? So I can't vouch for it. I'm not gonna, but I do know Striker is a very respected name in this atmosphere. I don't know anything about this suit. Make sure it's let me get down here, right here. Flotation assistance technology. Removable. It has a removable soft shell jacket liner, crossroad ventilation, waterproof zippers, magnetic storm flap closure.
Killing me, Danny.
Hand warmer pockets. Man. Wow, that's a really good deal.
And I like how long it is, because especially for taller people like me, I like something long that comes down my hip a little bit. It's nice, because some jackets are just too short for me. It just doesn't. They don't fit right. I like how that one's made. That is really, really, really nice. See, I would have no problem getting that all slimed up. That way I could leave my 10-year-old Carhartt coat to do what it does for me at work. I don't have to worry about all that. That is really nice.
They got the classic Predator, which I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about any of it, to be honest.
Oh, I like that. I like that brown one. They see that brown and camo one
right here.
That one. Oh, that looks cool. Of course, that snow camo. Hell, they all look cool. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't remember what one I had. I had as actually Dirty South Dragon Weights, Tyra and them. They had recommended, because they had gone through a couple of different sets, and they found a set that they truly believed in, and they highly recommended. And I went and found it, put it in my cart. It's still in my cart. I don't remember which jacket it is and which set of bibs, but well, I tell you, you can get a Striker right now for the price of a PC. I'm not saying anything bad about PC Fun, but I would go with Striker.
Yeah. The only clothing I own from PC Fun is they make some I think they call it some fisherman's shorts, which is very much not relevant at this time of year. But I ain't gonna lie, for what I paid for them, they are amazing. Like very, very, very amazing stuff for that. So if they put the same thought into the coats as they do into their fisherman shorts, probably pretty good.
I got way behind on chat here, so we got talking there. So I want to make sure with the make sure we didn't miss anything from anybody. I do appreciate,
and that is a good point, JG. You can do that. What's good about Life 360 is it's a constant thing. I know, like when I'm on the road, I don't have to tell Laura where I am or how long I'm going to be. She can look at that map and literally follow me. Like every move I make, if she wants to know, it's right there on the phone. And I'm not very exciting to watch. I don't go far. I'm not.
Well, it's live action. So those of you that aren't familiar with this, you can actually click on somebody traveling, and it'll tell you what speed they're traveling.
Oh yeah,
where they are. If they've stopped, they'll tell you how long they've been there. So Jeremy's been home since 10 o'clock yesterday or whatever. It gives you a lot of information. And I'm only using the free version. I know that you can pay for features on it and get even more out of it.
Yep.
I'm just using the free version of it right now. And, it's very useful. Dominic says a buddy has hit a deer on a motorcycle this year. Life 360 saved his life this summer.
Because it'll notify whoever you have on your list that, hey, so-and-so could have possibly used the accelerometer in the phone to sense that you may have been in an accident. Yeah. And it will pick me up. Thank you very much, Danny. It will. I've tried.
We can see how far behind I got.
But I did try it for myself. I wanted to see, and yeah, it's like it don't even know I'm there. Of course, that's that big mercury, but still, it
Pat,
didn't have an issue.
If you hadn't checked out yet, man, thanks for stopping in. We talked this week. He said, "Man, I missed the catfish crew." So I'm glad you got to catch up with us a little bit. Let me see if I got anything else here. I know we're kind of going over our time here, but throwable cushions. Keep an eye on that. We got that already. I actually had stuff written down before, outside of all this, before we even got.
I know in Louisiana. Now, this isn't necessarily a cold weather thing, but for your throwable flotation devices in Louisiana, your rope that you put on it, you can't just put anything. It has to be a floating rope as well. So, like I said, check your laws on that stuff and make sure you're in compliance 100%.
Here's one I forgot to mention is your first aid kit. All right. You can go to Walmart or anywhere and pick up a $10 first aid kit, put it in your boat, and you never unwrap it out of the plastic. And then the first time something happens, you get in there and it ain't got shit. It ain't got nothing that you actually need.
Yep.
So make sure that either your first aid kit that you purchase has, like we're talking about cold weather, those warming blankets, they're amazing. They're like foil or whatever. But they're in every life saving rescue. They get those blankets out and wrap people up for a reason, because they work. So make sure that you got a first aid kit on the boat. It actually has the things that you need.
Yeah.
For a hook removal.
Now, Jody, that's in my state. I have to. Doesn't mean that you have to. In Louisiana, you have to. That I'm just speaking for my state. Check your laws. Make sure you're in compliance. I have to have that.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean everybody else does. Louisiana is pretty tight on all the stuff you have to have your boat set up properly according to the size. It's a pretty long list when you start getting into the bigger boats.
Yeah. It's definitely you got to know emergency blanket as a lifesaver. There you go. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
The emergency blanket was what I had in mind. I know it's like a Mylar blanket or sheet basically, but things like that actually going to help you, get heated up. The I don't know if the Hot Hands makes it, but it's a large pad. And in the event that you're getting hypothermic or getting too cold, you want to put that on your back. Your kidneys, all your blood goes through your kidneys. And the closest that you can get to the outside of your skin and have an effect on your warming your blood is actually through your back on your kidneys. And you can put those warming pads on your back and it will heat up your entire body, because it's warming the blood that goes through there, and it distributes throughout your entire body. So, putting warm things on your hands feels good. But if you're really starting to get to the point where you can't stop shivering and you've got, warmers, you're better off putting them on your back and getting them on your kidneys and try to get your body warm back up.
And the main reason for that is, remember, because yes, your blood passes very close to your skin, at your wrist, your armpits, at your neck right here. Whenever you're overheating, you want to cool those areas. But remember, in hypothermic, what does the body do? It starts taking blood flow from your extremities to your core.
Yeah.
You've got to warm your core. And like Roger said, the best way to do that is in your lower back. The smaller your back, that is the closest place on your core to get heat directly to your blood. That's very important to remember.
Yep. And so right there, Matt says Hot Hands makes the big pads like that. They have adhesive ones too. And then that's what I would recommend. I would recommend the large adhesive ones, in emergency situation.
Knowing the signs is so important. I know for me, for most people, your first sign that you're starting to turn over into that hypothermic phase, the beginning stages, is that uncontrollable shivering. That whole body and you can't stop shaking. you're in it. You're in the beginning stages of it. You need to take some action and do something about it. You're starting to get into that zone at that point. When it starts progressing even more, it does just like with heat exhaustion or heat stroke. You start losing your circulation to your extremities, and your blood, I forget the name for it. When you press your nail or press your finger, the blood flow won't come back nearly as fast because it's taking that flow away from your extremities to preserve your core. It's a survival instinct.
Yep. I was trying to see here. I had so this here, I had another one that was a little bit easier to read. I accidentally closed the tab. Now I can't find it. So mild symptoms of loss of motor skills. You start shivering, decrease in blood circulation and skin temperature. So you're talking about like Jeremy said, the extremities.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start getting into the more moderate or severe symptoms, you got confusion, fatigue, loss of consciousness, and dilated pupils. So familiarize yourself with these symptoms so that if you're fishing with somebody, and honestly, in cold conditions, it's safest to fish with somebody. I know that a lot of folks here, Jody fishes alone a lot. Greenwell fishes alone a lot. Danny fishes alone. There's a lot of folks that fish alone a lot. So being aware of your own symptoms is going to be your best bet, but being aware of the symptoms so you can keep an eye on each other if you're fishing with a partner, knowing what to look for, because they might not even notice it. They just might think, they're getting kind of cold, or they start shivering a little bit, and, they get a little clumsy, and they don't pay no attention to it. But you picking up on the fact that they might be becoming hypothermic, may have a big impact on the outcome.
Yep.
I've invested a lot in hot hands from all my surgeries, and being single digit weather hunting gets cold faster. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's where I picked up most. That's where I picked up most of my, warm weather techniques. Is I used to deer hunt twice as much as I fish. To be completely honest, I used to hunt probably at least twice, maybe 3 times harder than I fish. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot.
So I've got a lot of cold weather gear and a lot of cold weather techniques from sitting still. When you're deer hunting, you're sitting completely still for a long period of time, ideally. Whereas on a boat, you get to get up and you get to move around, you get to stretch, you warm yourself up. Hey, Mr. Duggar, what's going on, buddy? So, knowing the signs that help keep yourself safe, and then also possibly save a friend if you can pick up on the signs of, hypothermia.
Epic says the high today there where he's at was 19. That was the high.
We didn't get out of the 20s.
Ooh. Remember, I'm not allowed from here till about March. I'm not allowed to complain that it's cold. That's why. I've never in my life experienced single digit temperatures. I've never done it. No. I think the coldest weather I've experienced in my life, I think it was 12 or 13 degrees. Like actual temperature, not wind chill and all of that. Like 12, 13. That's the coldest I've ever been exposed to in my life. That I know of, anyway.
Thank you, Stan, for the plug there. This segment brought to you by Johnsonville Better Cheddars. Everything's better with cheddar.
You do that so much better than if I would do it. I'd sound like stale cracker if I try to do it. I ain't gonna lie. That would not be good for anybody.
Here's an interesting fact I did not know about Stan 3. I used to be a ski instructor.
Huh? Really?
I don't know if he's pulling our leg, but I did not know that.
Can't go home and say I didn't learn nothing. All right.
So hopefully everybody learned at least one thing tonight. And
there you go. If
you didn't learn anything about safety, we got Stan 3 used to be a ski instructor, and it's all about layers to stay warm. Yeah. I completely agree. Layer up, thin layers. You can undress if you get too warm. You can add layers back on, but if you just bulk up on a couple big things, it's not gonna it's not going to help as much. We're about to get that Johnsonville sponsorship. All right, Stan, I'm holding my breath, brother. Epic says we had negative 80 wind chill and 35. Negative 35 is the coldest I remember, Jeremy. Negative 80 wind chill. Negative 35.
I can't even wrap my mind around that, about how cold that no. I'm getting cold thinking about it. I mean, I like the cold weather. I do. I love the wintertime much better than the summers here for obvious reasons. I'm not built for summer 100-something degree heat, but there's a limit. There's a limit.
Same thing as I'm pretty good on the slopes, slope ski or snowboarding. There you go.
Why am I suddenly getting an image of him standing on a kayak snowboarding down a bank of snow? Anybody else get that image, or is it just me?
I didn't. I do now.
Like, on a kayak. Whew. Yeah.
Mr. Duggar reminds us it is not that cold on the recliner either.
No, it's not. And if it is, just crank the heat up. Turn the thermostat up.
Now, this is interesting here. Danny Stern says we had a guy in my platoon go hypothermic at night in the Mojave Desert. We had to airlift him out of there. So
yeah,
it doesn't have to be freezing cold to go hypothermic. Your body stops sweating. I've done it before, Creole.
See?
Oh, see. Hey, Danny, is it your birthday today?
Yes, it is. It is. He said in chat how old he was, and I forgot. But yes, it is his birthday today.
I keep getting sidetracked with this other screen over here, trying to bring some things into the show. But well, happy birthday, Danny, my brother. I don't know how old he is. He's older than me.
58. Yep, just put it in chat. He's 58.
Let's see. Hang on just a second. Kevin, Monster Cat Catfishing sent me.
Danny, you realize you're 4 years younger than my dad?
Oh, wow. I'm glad I caught this. We've got something special for you guys.
Come on now.
All right, let me get this up here real quick. So these Onyx life jackets here, this is one called the Onyx Move Vent. Is a vest that conforms to your body like a glove, yet is innovative vented channels, help keep you cool while paddling. The mesh ventilation is featured in the front and back. The Move Vent series jackets allow for maximum airflow, soft, lightweight flotation foam, a solus grade reflective material for visibility, expandable zippered pockets, mesh draining, a lash tab for small accessories, a drying loop in the back, attached whistles for safety. And he said they just started carrying those at the Monster Cat Catfishing.
Ooh.
And he wants to give 2 of them away tonight for you guys that stuck around and hanging out with us. And
that is awesome.
Are wanting to get safety minded and help hopefully keep safety on the front of your mind. So give me just a second and I can load up our giveaway tool. Kevin, thank you again, man. We were just talking about how much.
Let's see. I might be able to load it up a little quicker than you can. Let me see here.
Oh yeah, I've already got it.
No, you got me beat. Never mind. Okay, well I tried. I can't say I didn't try. You got me. That is awesome right there. Those are nice.
Well, thank you again from Kevin over at Monster Cat Catfishing. This is going to be for the Onyx life jackets. 2 of those. Oh, AVG Security Black Friday sale. I'm glad that wasn't anything else.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
No, I don't have that. Do we need to move over to Muskrat's channel for the drawing? No, JG Hill, it will collect.
Yeah, it'll send them both. Yeah, as long as you're on YouTube on either one, it'll send them both because it picks up everything in our chats. We can see everything.
Even Facebook, it will even pick up on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right.
We're chatting from Facebook. So,
if we can see it in chat, the giveaway tool can see it. We proved that one a while back.
Yep. Yes, sir. So again, thank you so much, Kevin. Great to do a little giveaway here to have some fun and say thank you guys for tuning in with us. I mean, it's an hour and a half into the show, and we can do another hour and a half and talk about safety and talk about, you know, all the tools and things out there that we could buy, purchase. But at the end of the day, your safety is your responsibility.
Yeah.
You have to, we're getting ready to load all of the safety equipment flotation. Heck yeah, man. That is awesome. But yeah, keep your safeties number one and ask yourself, are you ready to go in the water? And if the answer is no, and I'm guilty, my answer is no. No, I don't want to go in the water. So I have just basically said, no, I'm not going in the water. But I need to prepare myself. If I do go in the water, what am I going to do? And until you could say, yes, I'm ready to go in the water, you've got work to do. And that includes myself. So, you know, hopefully this strikes a nerve with somebody, especially when it comes to the life jackets. Again, this is a great way to close the show out with a giveaway of some life jackets. As I shared earlier with losing our friend Shane, fall down, not out. There you go, Epic. That's what I'm talking about. Hit the floor. Losing our friend Shane this last year. You know, please take your safety personally. You know, all these other things, the Life 360, the way to, you know, help, you know, throwables and all these other things, the tools that get back in your boat. There's a million things we could talk about, but at the end of the day, if you don't put your safety first and make good decisions, it doesn't make a bit of difference.
Yeah. Leave the ego at home when it comes to safety stuff and making good decisions. A lot of bad decisions get made because of ego. That's just the truth of it.
That is true. And I'm guilty of it too. You know, I don't want to wear this big, bulky, ugly thing or whatever, you know, whatever the decision was. Stan hits the nail on the head right here.
Yeah, we can run that boat through that. Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I'm not a wimp. I can handle that. Stan says it great right here. You can have 2,222 perfect trips, but it only takes one trip to never make it back. And you know, with
all it takes is one.
Yeah. And so Monster Catfishing is giving us away. I think we've got a clicker do we got a banner for that?
Bet you we do.
I know we have some somewhere. I know you're good at that part.
I'll make one real quick.
Kevin over at Monster Catfishing is giving us away. Kevin's actually been a big supporter of our channel. He's participated in a lot of he's donated to a lot of giveaways. Most recently, the Veterans Tournament we just had on Veterans Day. Kevin donated the Mad Catz Carbine Patriot 2.0 rod given away that Mr. Stan 2 won. So Stan asked the questions. The same guy that you won that rod from is giving away. There we go. Right. Thank you, Matt. Want to be outdoors? Throwing a Monster Catfishing link out there in chat. Thank you guys so much. Go check him out, man. It's, you know, small business guy. He's just trying to make things affordable to the catfish community. And he's building a store. He actually has a huge, or had a, I don't know if it's over now, but he had a big Black Friday sale going on. There was big savings on trolling motors, fish finders. I mean, he's the real deal. He's just getting bigger. So it'd be great I love to spend my money with people that I know and, you know, try to keep it out of the big chains as long as I can. But that's been long enough, Eric. So give you a couple seconds here. If you hadn't got in, this is for 2 Onyx life jackets Kevin's donated tonight for us to give away to help wrap up. That rod has been on fire, Stan 3 says. That's awesome, man. That is great.
In fact, Stan 3 said they just got a citation with that rod today.
Oh, man. Heck yeah.
Yep.
And those of you that aren't familiar with that, citation is a good thing.
Yeah.
I know.
Clear that up.
Yeah. For most of us, a citation is a bad thing, but no, that means they've hit a slot fish, you know, that's in the trophy category.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to spin this thing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Thank you. again, Kevin, Muskrat Catfishing, for putting this together. Let's see who's going to take a couple of brand new life jackets home with him.
If Stan wins, I tell you.
Hey, Jim over Buckeye Catfishing. What's going on, buddy?
Heck yeah.
I think Kevin might have Jim's information already. Jim participated in our tournament that Kevin put on this last year. So congratulations, Jim. Get a hold of you can get a hold of me if you guys don't have each other's information. I'll connect the dots there and put it together for you guys. But congratulations on that. Yeah. Dreams I still have my wits about me while battling giant fish. I'm just where I'm willing to go hook one is on the deal. I got it. Don't forget the fog and logs. The what? We're talking about safety. Don't forget about the fog and the logs. I think that's what she's talking about. Yeah. Fog is 365 days a year. You can't get away from it. You know, being safe. One of the things that we talked about before, and I think it was Skip might have said it in our little group chat about the VHF radios. You communicate back and forth with barges and communicate with rescue crews. It was Skip Marine VHF radio. So, like I said, there's all these tools out there, but at the end of the day, it's you that has to. Ohio isn't even a state. What the? Get rid of him.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Ohio didn't show up very good this weekend. Got beat by Michigan again. That was a good game, but didn't pull out the win this time either. It happens. But see, Kevin has my info too. He's sending me a couple things. All right.
There you go.
Well, if you guys need my help putting anything together there, just let me know. Otherwise, I think these guys got it all. Can get it all hashed out. Fog logs, current barges, drunken pleasure boaters. Yeah. Well, hopefully we're done with drunken pleasure boaters. It's cold. Hopefully they winterize their boats and they put them away. I've
got to deal with crazy ass duck hunters now.
Duck hunters.
See, those are my pleasure boaters. Is the duck boats with the pro drives and the gator tails. Not good.
No BS. Catfish says right now, watch for shallow water. It will throw you out of the boat. So, that's a great tip to mention. A lot of us travel and by navionics, but you've got to offset that. If your water is down 4 feet, you've got to adjust for that. Now, most electronics, you can go in and offset your graphs.
Yeah.
To where if your graph is showing that that's 6 foot of water and you are 4 foot low right now, you can go and adjust that graph and it'll drop every depth on your graph 4 foot to help you compensate. It'll go the other way as well. If you are in a flood situation where you're up 4 feet, you can adjust your graph to automatically show you 4 feet. Now, most people don't go in and adjust that. They just mentally make a note. Hey, whatever it is, +4, +5, whatever or -4 or 5, but you can go in and adjust those so that you don't run yourself shallow and run yourself out. But Pontoon Joey says I've hit shallow a couple times. Luckily, I back it off. That's a good thing about a pontoon with the 2 tunes up front. You actually get more drag. So I used my 30-footer. I used to run that thing up on the banks of everything because 30 feet back. Still plenty deep for me to get out. I can run it up on anything. I know hers is 30 foot, but you have that opportunity.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
So guys, we're going to wrap things up. We're an hour and a half in. We could probably do this. We could probably do this for another hour and a half pretty easy, but I know that Jeremy's got to work and I got to get up early as well.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, guys, please take your safety serious. Watch out for yourselves and each other. That sounds like a Jerry Springer, the way Jerry Springer ends the show, isn't it?
I know, it kind of does, don't
it? Keel offset. There you go. Thank you, JG Hill, for helping get my words to come off. Your keel offset. Yep, that's exactly what it's called. Thank you guys for joining us tonight and hanging out. Great crowd tonight. A lot of good tips and information given away in the chat tonight. Things to think about. giving away. Yeah, there you go, Kevin. Giving away the life jackets tonight. Thank you, sir, for that. Congratulations again to Jim for winning those. And guys, we'll see you back here next week. Same cat time, same cat channel. We'll catch you on the next cast.
Bom peixe.